are the descendants of prophets and profiteers, of protesters, of organizers, and overcomers. We have been here before, and though the faces of oppression may change, the spirit of resistance is eternal. We must rise, not in violence, but in vision. We must stand, not in bitterness, but in boldness. We must fight, not with hatred in our hearts, but with love as our weapon and truth as our shield. Democracy is not a building. It is not a ballot box. It is not a single leader or a single law. Democracy is us. It is every hand raised in protest, every vote cast in hope, every truth spoken in courage, every injustice challenged in unity. So let us not lose heart. Let us be vigilant. Let us keep sounding the alarm louder than ever. Let us be the fire that burns away corruption. Let us be the light that leads us out of this darkness, because though democracy may be on fire, the people, we the people, are the water. And together we will rise like a mighty flood and put out the flames of injustice for good. So thank you, and may truth and love and justice guide us forward.
Good afternoon. Let me begin by thanking God for bringing us all here today. And as Dick Gregory, the late Dick Gregory, used to say, I hope and pray that our returns back to our destination will be equally as safe. 62 years ago, as has been said over and over today, my father stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and shared his vision for our nation and world. I want to start by saying some have tried to continue the work that he and his team began. But I must first thank the National Action Network and Reverend Al Sharpton for convening us today on Wall Street, which is where businesses are made and trillions of dollars are made. Now, my father said in 1963 that he talked about a check that had been prepared and sent to the National Treasury. And that check was to give us the riches of freedom and justice, health care, and so many other things. And at that time, he said, that check came back marked insufficient funds. But he went on to say that I know the Treasury is not bankrupt. And although they're telling us today, oh, we have we're running a deficit, but yet billionaires have quadrupled their money. And in a real sense, we must create the climate where people truly can raise themselves by their own bootstraps. But you can't say to a bootless person, raise up by your own bootstraps. We must create that climate, that economic climate, where housing is affordable. That climate where health care is available for all. That climate where the greatest education that anyone can get exists. Guess what? That is here in the United States. That's not saying that we're better than anybody else. But yet, many of our folks, young folk, are not able to read. Something is wrong with this nation. My father would say that something is wrong. We are not on the trajectory that we should be. But he would never lose hope in people, even though he even talked about toward the latter years that he was concerned that he was leading people into a burning house. Think about what that means, because Andre just talked about this is a real fire alarm. This is a real crisis. Part of that is because we are not engaged enough. Yes, us here are engaged. But when you understand, just in the black community, we spent $1.3 trillion last year. Have we ever stopped to think about what that means? We would be the 8th largest nation on planet Earth if we learned how to work together. I'm not talking about segregation, but I'm talking about supporting and lifting us all up. That day must come if we want freedom, justice, and equality. That means turning to each other and stop turning on each other. That means possessing a kind of love that Dad called it agape love. It's totally unselfish. You love someone if they're old. You love them if they're young. You love them if they're rich or poor, black or white, Native American or Hispanic or Latino American, African or Asian. You love them because you know that God calls you to embrace that kind of love. That is part of what we got to do in this quest. Because the ship appears to be sinking. And we cannot allow that. In fact, I'm going to say we will not allow that to happen. And so let me end by saying, do not get any ways tired. Because, you know, we've come much too far from where we started. Our God didn't tell us our roads would be easy. But our God is not going to leave us. So stand tough. Never give up. Never give in. Never give out. Keep moving forward. And one day, we will realize the dream of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. God bless you.
My name is Ashley Sharpton. I'm the director of National Action Network's Youth and College Division and founder of Names Youth Huddle, and the youngest daughter of Reverend Al Sharpton. The Bible says in Daniel 3 that 3 Hebrew boys refused to bow to the empire statue. That is our posture. We will not bow. To book bans, to voter purges, to DEI rollbacks, to the erasure of our history, we will not bow. Dr. King dreamed so we could wake up and stay up. Reverend Jackson pushed to keep hope alive. And Reverend Al Sharpton defined this era of no justice, no peace. From Bensonhurst to Wall Street, Reverend Sharpton was cut and kept marching. He was mocked and kept showing up. He turned weekly rallies into national policy and pain into possibility. That is vision, that is sacrifice, that is leadership worth following and becoming. So I ask you, when your children ask what you did in the Trump years, what will you say? Did you scroll or did you show up? Did you whisper or did you march? If you choose legacy over likes, say it with me. We will not bow. We will not bow. To fear, we will not bow. To lies, to greed, to fear, to Trump. And today we follow the man who has never bowed. The man who stood on front lines when it wasn't safe, who turned pain into policy, who carried Dr. King's dream and Reverend Jackson's fight into the streets of our time. He is not just David's slingshot. He is David himself, steady and ready to take on Goliath, not hoping but knowing that giant will fall. He is the visionary who saw this march before others understood it, the leader whose sacrifices carved the path for us to walk, and the prophet of economic justice in our generation. It is my honor to present to you not just my father, but our leader for this day and time, God's messenger, the truth teller, the soul reacher, the liberation seeker, and truth teacher, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? 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 We won't go back. We won't go back. We won't go back. All right. They said 62 years ago that the dream that Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about was a dream that died in the late 60s. But there were those that kept on fighting. And we went from a balcony in Memphis that killed a dreamer to having a black family on the Truman balcony at the White House. We never stopped dreaming. But now that we have an anti-dreamer, one that wants to cut the tax rate for the rich and have cuts in Medicaid and SNAP pay for it. Why do we come to Wall Street? Since you have benefited from Trump, we come to tell you your benefit days are numbered. We're not going back. You said, well, we have a couple of hundred people. We were blocks long, thousands marched. We marched toward your offices because we know your address. And we're going to march and keep coming to you until we turn the economic inequality in this country around. We're not going back. Let me tell you something. The fact of the matter is the first thing traded on Wall Street was black bodies. The largest two ports for slave trade in America was Charleston, South Carolina, and Wall Street, New York. They stood us up right in this area and sold us like a bar of soap, sold us like we were some inhuman particle. But we come back the children of our ancestors. We come back ready to vote, ready to spend our dollars. We're not slaves anymore.